Magandang araw sa inyo, class. Ngayon po ang ating topic ay database normalization. Pero bago ang lahat, magkaroon muna tayo ng review sa ating past lesson. Ang lesson natin last time is about entity relationship diagrams. Binigyan ko kayo ng series of steps to identify what your database is about. Kung matatandaan ninyo, yung 4 na steps na yon, yung first 3 steps ay para sa paggawa ng ERD. At yung ika-4, yun naman yung paggawa natin mismo ng tables for our database. Let's review the 4 steps of identifying what your database is about. The first step is decide on what subjects or entities are covered by the database. Second, decide how the subjects are related to one another. And third, decide on what characteristics or attributes the subjects have. The fourth and final step is to derive the database tables from the design. But of course, in deriving the tables, we need to process it, to improve it, and we call that process normalization. Now, what is normalization? One of the steps necessary for effective database design is called normalization. It is a way of creating relations that have minimal redundancy and a small chance of inconsistency. Normalization is a method of organizing data elements into tables. It is done to minimize, if not totally eliminate, data redundancy. Normalization allows us to organize data to allow faster access and to reduce space. Paano marireduce ang space? Kapag pinaliit natin ng pinaliit ang mga sizes ng ating mga tables at in-avoid natin yung mga redundancies o yung paulit-ulit na data, therefore, mangongonti yung space na kailangan ng mga data na yon. Yung mga tinanggal nating data, makaka-contribute yung space na inalat para sa kanila dun sa panibago nating tables. What are normal forms? Normalization is done through changing or transforming data into various normal forms. There are actually 5 or 6 normal forms, but we almost never use the 4th normal form or the 5th normal form. So, in this lecture, we will only be concerned with the first normal form, the second normal form, and the third normal form. For a database to be in a normal form, it must meet all requirements of the previous forms. For example, for a database to be in the second normal form, it must already be in the first normal form. For a database to be in the third normal form, it must already be in the first normal form and the second normal form. Let's have a sample data. Please consider this table here. We only have 2 columns. Sa column natin, yung first column is titled or labeled manager. The second column is labeled employees. Under the manager, we have Bob, Edward, and Taylor. Under the employees column, we have opposite Bob's name, we have Susie and Eric. Opposite manager Edward's is Bella and Andrew. And opposite Taylor's name is Mark and Jane. Please take note this data has some problems. The employees column is not atomic. Ano ba yung atomic? A column must be atomic, meaning that it can only hold a single item of data. This column holds more than one employee name. Imbes na Susie lang ang nakalagay sa employee's name, dalawang names, Susie at saka Eric. Imbes na Bella lang or kaya Andrew lang, merong pinagsama nila sa iisang column si Bella and Andrew at sa iisang cell. Data that is not atomic means we cannot easily sort the data, we cannot easily search or index the data, we cannot easily change the data, and we cannot easily reference the data in other tables. Bakit po? Kasi in sorting, the data or changing the data or referencing it to other tables, we will need to search for it. In searching for the data, normally, tinatype natin yung first letter ng data. Kung hinahanap natin si Jane, o kaya gusto nating i-reference si Eric, ano ang una nating itatype? For Eric, it's E, and then R. Hindi yun basta-basta makikita dito. Kasi ang hahanapin niya, syempre, ang magiging reference ng ating searching is yung first letter. Ang first letter ng ating sa employees column ay S, B, at saka M lang for Susie, Bella, and Mark. So, matatagalan ka bago mo mahanap si Eric or si Andrew. Breaking the employee column into more than one column doesn't solve our problems. The data may look atomic, but only because we have many identical columns storing a single piece of data instead of a single column storing many pieces of data. Take a look at our new table. Meron na tayong manager, employee 1, employee 2 columns. Pinaghiwalay natin yung pangalan ni Susie at saka ni Eric into employee 1 at employee 2. Same was done for Bella, Andrew, Mark, and Jane. But in this case, we still cannot easily sort, search, or index our employees. If we are to search for Jane, syempre una nating ito-type is J. So, saan tayo pupunta? Punta muna tayo sa employee 2. Parang hindi na rin computer or yung DBMS ang magsa-search, kundi tayo rin mismo. Kasi hanapin natin, nasaan column si Jane. Iisa-isahin ba natin yung mga columns na yan? Say for employee 1, for employee 2, employee 3, employee 4, etc. And, what if a manager has more than 2 employees? Say 10 employees or 100 employees. We need to add columns to our database just for these cases. At kapag nag-add tayo ng columns, mag-i-incur yan ng another computer space na hindi naman goal ng normalization. Mas lalong dadami yung space na kakailanganin imbes na i-reduce natin yung space. Number 3, it is still hard to reference our employees in other tables because still it is not sorted. By the way, what would be a good choice of a primary key for this table? Is it manager, employee 1, or employee 2? Hard to say. Introducing the first normal form. Ano ba yung first normal form? First normal form means that we must eliminate duplicate columns from the same table and create separate tables for each group of related data into separate tables, each with a unique row identifier or what we call the primary key. Let's get started by making our columns atomic. So in here, we make our table atomic by how? Ginawa nating isa-isa lang yung pangalan sa bawat cell. So for Bob, we have, opposite Bob, we have Susie. Again, Bob, Eric, Edward, Bella, Edward, Andrew, Taylor, Mark, Taylor, Jane. By breaking each tuple of our table into an entry for each employee, we have made our data atomic. Now, ang problema natin, what would be the primary key? Ano ulit yung primary key? It is our unique identifier. So, ano ang unique identifier natin? Wala. Okay, the best primary key would be the employee column. Kaya lang, look at that. Look at the managers column. May redundancy. Si Bob, 2 beses inulit ang pangalan. Si Edward, si Taylor. Maraming characters ang ginamit. So, therefore, maraming spaces are needed for these characters. Every employee only has one manager. Therefore, an employee is unique. Kaya siya ang ginawa nating primary key. Congratulations! The fact that all our data in columns is atomic and we have a primary key means that we are in the first normal form. But take note, yung ating employee column na ginawa nating primary key, yung employee names, hindi tayo sure na magiging unique ang identifier na ito. Kasi maaaring may mga papasok na bagong empleyado na Suzy din ang pangalan o kaya Mark din ang pangalan. Of course, there may come a day when we hire a second employee or manager with the same name. To avoid this, let's use an employee ID instead of their name. Normally, nag-a-assign tayo ng codes or ID name o kaya ng number, ID number, para gawin nating primary key. In this case, ang ilalagay natin is ID number. We will assign ID number for each employee. Since Bob, Edward, and Taylor are also employees of the same company, we will also assign ID numbers for them. So, for ID number 1, bibigay natin ito kay Susie. ID number 2 for Eric, 3 Bella, 4 Andrew, 5 Mark, 6 Jane, 7 Bob, 8 Edward, and 9 Taylor. Bahala po kayo kung anong ID number ang ibibigay ninyo. Pwede ninyong ibigay yung ID number 1 kay Bob, yung ID number 2 kay Edward, ID number 3 kay Taylor. Tsaka nyo na lang isusunod yung mga employees under their supervision. Now, sa manager ID, para malaman natin kung kanino under ang bawat employee, ilalagay na lang natin manager ID. Makakatipid po tayo ng maraming characters. Kasi numbers na lang ang ilalagay natin, which is 1 or 2 characters lang. Now, let us compare the first or the original table to the first normal form table natin. Yung before and after. So, our original table was made up of 2 columns, namely manager and employees. Kaya lang, hindi atomic yung under ng employees na data. Ngayon, ginawa na natin siyang atomic. Bawat column natin, isa lang ang data under each cell or inside each cell. Kaya it makes it atomic. Plus, nakapag-assign tayo sa kanila ng primary key na kasama din sa qualifications para sa first normal form. Since tapos na ang first normal form, na-assign na natin ang primary key at nagawa na nating atomic ang bawat column, let us move to the second normal form. A database in the second normal form must also be in the first normal form. Data must first be atomic and every row or tuple must have a unique primary key. Pag kumpleto na yon, nasa first normal form ka na, pwede ka na mag-move sa second normal form. So for the second normal form, we need subsets of data that apply to multiple rows to be moved to the separate tables. So, lahat ng repeating data, tatanggalin natin at ilalagay natin or magkikreate tayo ng another table para doon natin ilalagay yung mga repeating or redundant data. Say for example, this table, we have how many columns? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 columns. Namely, customer ID, first name, last name, address, city, state, and zip. This data is in the first normal form. Bakit po? Kasi po, meron po siyang primary key at lahat po ng columns ay atomic. But let's pay attention to the city, state, and zip fields. There are 2 rows of repeating data. One for Chicago and one for St. Paul. Ito po yung Chicago at ito yung St. Paul. Dalawa siya. So, may repeating data. Both have the same city, state, and zip code. So, 3 columns. Sa 3 columns na yun, pare-pareho lang ang laman nung sa St. Paul at saka sa Chicago. The customer ID determines all the data in the row, but US zip codes determines the city and state. For example, a given zip code can only belong to one city and state so storing zip codes with the city and state is redundant. This means that city and state are functionally dependent on the value in zip code and not only the primary key. So, city and state again are functionally dependent on the zip code. Whatever is the zip code, yun din yung city niya at saka yung state. Hindi siya dependent sa primary key natin dun sa table na in-example natin. So, to be in the second normal form, this repeating data must be in its own table. So, let's create a zip code table that maps zip codes to their city and state. Note that Canadian postal codes are different. The same city and state can have many different postal codes. So, hindi to applicable dito sa Philippines, ganun din sa Canada. So, our examples only for the US. So, pinaghiwalay natin ngayon. Gumawa tayo ng another table for the zip code. And we will call this the zip code table. Here, we have 3 columns, yung zip, city, and state. Sa zip, kung ano man ang... Take note po, yung ating primary key, lagi ay sorted in ascending order. And then, opposite the zip code is the city and then the state. For our first table, yung customer table, we will call it the customer table, mawawala na yung city and state columns. Ang matitira na lang yung zip column. Now, sa zip column natin, pwede nating i-refer kung gusto nyo malaman kung anong city or state. Say, for example, for Bob Smith, nakatira siya sa 123 Main Street, tapos ang zip code niya is 12345. Ano ba yung 12345? Anong city and state yon? Dito po sa zip code table natin, ang 12345 po is Tucson, Arizona. So, ang 12345 na zip is in Tucson, Arizona. We see that we can actually save 2 rows in the zip code table by removing these redundancies. 9 customer records only need 7 zip code records. Zip code becomes a foreign key in the customer table linked to the primary key in the zip code table. Now, please take note, yung customer ID natin sa customer table is our primary key. At yung zip column natin, ito po ang tinatawag nating foreign key. Ano po ang foreign key? Ang foreign key is a primary key of another table na inilalagay natin sa isang table para ma-relate natin yung table na yon dun sa original table. In this case, ang zip column ay ang ating primary key para sa zip code table. Inilagay po natin siya sa last column ng customer table para magsilbing foreign key. Para malalaman po natin kung anong city and state ang kinabibilangan nung first nung customer ID number 1 natin o kaya customer ID number 2. Advantages of the second normal form. It saves space in the database by reducing redundancies. Sa example po natin, nawala yung 2 columns. At nawala rin yung 2 rows. Ano po yung 2 rows na yon? Yung inuulit yung St. Paul at saka yung Chicago. At doon naman sa original column ng customer table, nawala naman po yung city at saka state na columns. Kung marami pa po ang ililista natin na customers, ibig sabihin po, marami pang mauulit doon. Instead na maulit siya ng 2 columns sa city and state, hindi na po kasi i-refer natin ng zip code. If a customer calls you, you can just ask them for their zip code and you'll know their city and state. No more spelling mistakes. Kasi po, kung paulit-ulit nating tinatype yung same data sa isang table, may tendency na magkamali tayo. If a city name changes, we only need to make one change to the database. At saan po yun? Doon po sa zip code table. Summary so far, sa first normal form, all data is atomic. All rows have a unique primary key. Sa second normal form, data must be in the first normal form bago natin gawin ang second normal form. And then subsets of data in multiple columns are moved to a new table, and these new tables are related using foreign keys. Tandaan po natin, lahat dapat ng ating tables ay may primary key. So, kung sa second normal form po, magkikreate tayo ng another table, dapat po, meron din siyang sarili niyang primary key. At ang primary key niya po ay gagamit natin bilang foreign key dun sa original table para ma-relate natin yung ating unang table sa ating pangalawang table. Now, let us move to the third normal form. To be in the third normal form, a database must be in the second normal form. All columns must be fully functionally dependent on the primary key. There must be no transitive dependencies. Let's take an example for this. Consider this table. We have the order ID, customer ID, product ID, price, quantity, and total. In this table, customer ID and product ID depend on the order ID and no other column. Stated another way, if you know the order ID, you know the customer ID and the product ID. So, order ID, customer ID, and product ID. Customer ID and product ID are both dependent on the order ID. But there are some fields that are not dependent on the order ID. Total is the simple product of price and quantity. As such, has a transitive dependency to price and quantity, hindi sa order ID. Because it is a calculated value, it doesn't need to be included at all. So we may or may not include the total column in this table. Why? Order lang naman ang kailangan. Ino-order, hindi ito yung billing. Okay po? Also, we can see that price isn't really dependent on product ID or order ID. Customer 1001 bought AB-111 for $50 in order 1 and for $75 in order 7, while 1002 spent $60 for each item in order 2. Maybe price is dependent on the product ID and quantity. The more you buy of a given product, the cheaper that product becomes. So we ask the business manager and she tells us that this is the case. So hindi po dependent yung price sa order ID, ganun din yung total sa order ID, which is the primary key in this table. We say that price has a transitive dependency on product ID and quantity. This means that price isn't just determined by the order ID. It is also determined by the size or quantity of the order and of course what is ordered. So it is more likely that the total and the price are based on the product ID and quantity columns, not on order ID. So let's diagram the dependencies. We can see that all fields are dependent on order ID, the primary key, white lines. So, tingnan nyo po, all fields are dependent on order ID or the primary key, pero yung product ID tsaka quantity, siya ang magdedetermine ng price. Okay po? But total is also determined by price and quantity. Let's look at the yellow lines. This is a derived quantity. Multiply price with quantity, you will get the total. We can save a lot of space by getting rid of it altogether and just calculating total when we need it. Since sa order ID, what we need is only the customer ID, product ID, and quantity. Kasi yun lang naman ang i-deliver. Wala pa yung price and total sa paniningil na yon, sa billing na yon. Price is also determined by both product ID and quantity rather than the primary key. This is called a transitive dependency. We must get rid of transitive dependencies to have the third normal form. So what we will do, we do this by moving the transitive dependency into a second table. Now, by splitting out the table, we can quickly adjust our price table to meet our competitor or if the prices changes from our suppliers. So, pwede nang ganito na lang. So, the second table is our pricing list. Look at that. Yung order ID, first table natin, ang columns, order ID, customer ID, product ID, and quantity lang. Ang second table na ginawa natin, ang magiging primary key natin yung product ID and quantity. Magiging primary siya, composite. So, we have product ID and quantity. Say, for example, if you order 1 to 100 pieces of AB-111, the unit price is 75. But if you will order more than 100 to 500, say 101 to 501 pieces of AB-111, the unit price is $60. Whereas if you will order more than 500 pieces of AB-111, the unit price is only $50. That is a discounted price. Think of quantity as a range, as given in our table 2. The primary key for the second table is a composite of product ID and quantity. If you have more than 2 columns or 2 data to serve as your primary key, we call that a composite primary key. So now, we are in the third normal form. We can also quickly figure out what price to offer customers for any quantity they want. So, kung gusto mong makabenta, halimbawa ng marami, i-offer mo na marami para mas makakamura din sila. That is also marketing strategy. So, to summarize again, a database is in the third normal form if it is in the second normal form and it has no transitive dependencies. What is a transitive dependency? A transitive dependency exists when one attribute or field is determined by another non-key attribute or field. We remove fields with a transitive dependency to a new table and link them by a foreign key. Ano yung foreign key natin? Balikan. Okay? We have the product ID and quantity. That's our foreign key for the first table. Okay. A database is in the second normal form if it is in the first normal form and there is no repeating data in its tables. Put another way, if we use a composite primary key, then all attributes are dependent on all parts of the key. And finally, a database is in the first normal form if all its attributes are atomic, meaning they contain only a single unit or type of data and all rows have a unique primary key. So that concludes our lecture for today. Next are our sample problems. Please see part 2 of this video for our sample problems.